What's up, everybody? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays for this Tuesday, March the 9th, 2021. I am your host, Russ Williams. I'm so glad you could be here today. I am quite aware you could have been anywhere in this world today. I know you could have been anywhere in this world today, but you decided to be here with me, and I appreciate that. And more importantly, I appreciate you. So welcome to Transition Tuesdays on this balmy spring-like day, like 65 degrees here in New York City. So great day here today. And before I start, I wanted to just mention about this month. This month is Women's History Month. So happy Women's History Month this month of March. And we're going to talk about that. Also, we have a great show on. We have a great I'm trying to speak and trying to read all these stuff at the same time. We have a great action-packed show here today, and we're going to have a special guest that's going to be joining us shortly. But before we begin, I'd like to state my intentions, okay? My intentions are very clear. Before I do that, we got Richie checking in. What's going on, Richie? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays, my friend. So my intentions is to give you the opportunity to laugh, smile, think, and engage in honest conversations about your life's transition. So that's what we do here on Transition Tuesdays. So like I mentioned before, I'm going to try to mess with this technology thing. I'm going to try to get my guest on the camera live. So hopefully I will get some information on that, and then we will go live with my special guest, or if not, we'll do it the old school style, which we've been doing, like a podcast type of format. So, we'll see what goes on. So let me just check here for a second, guys. 1 second. Hang tight with me. All righty. Nothing yet. Okay. So that's what we'll do. Well, Richie, thank you for joining me, my man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. All righty. So let me do this. Since I'm not getting a response back, okay. Okay, so what you do, Whitney, is there should be an invite button there. Just hit that invite button. An invite button should come up on your screen. And then what I'll do is I'm gonna do this. 1 second. I'm gonna do this while you guys are waiting for me. I appreciate you guys. You don't want to go anywhere. This guest that I have is phenomenal. So hang tight. Let's see what we got. Hopefully I can get this here. So let's see. This technology thing, I've had the toughest time getting people on screen. Oh, man, I don't know if it's me. Man, I don't know what the deal is, but we're going to get it done. We're going to get this done. We are going to definitely get this done here. Hang tight. Let me see this here. Let me invite. Hold on 1 second. Let me do this here. Hang tight here, guys. Let's see. All right. Okay. So just let me know, special guest, if you got that invite. If not, just let me know. Let me know. Yeah. So, just a little heads up, little housekeeping here. So once we, once I have my special guest on, we talk. We're going to also talk about some current events, and hopefully our guest star would, stick around for us. Be involved in the current events that we talk about, when we transition into our current events portion of the program. So, we'll see what we got here. Oh man. Okay. I don't see anything coming yet. So special guest, I'm going to give you a call, okay? Let me see what I can do here. Let's try that. It's always good to have a plan B, ladies and gentlemen. This is my plan B, so hang tight for a second. All right. Let's see. Who we got? Marilyn joining us. Special guest. Hello. All right. We got Marilyn joining us. What's going on, Marilyn? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. We also got Karen joining us. What's going on, Karen? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays, each and everybody. All righty. Now, so we got Triple T joining us. Tariq Thacker joining us. What's going on, Tariq? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays, my friend. Hold on one second. Let me take this call, guys. Special guest, you there?
It's me. I finally got this working. How are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I know this is probably on my end, special guest, but that's okay. We're gonna bring you into the arena the correct way. Okay, so hang tight. So let me read this bio, this extensive bio for my special guest. All right. Let me clear my throat. Okay. Now, my special guest began her career in college athletics at the MAC conference, where she worked for 6+ years. First as the director of marketing and sales before being promoted to assistant commissioner for new media. During her time with the MAC conference, my guest increased brand awareness through social media, communications, video and marketing strategies, and she was also the liaison between the conference and all 11 members' teams. Now, finally, my special guest. She is in her 4th year as the Associate Athletic Director for Marketing, Fan, and Donor Experience at Manhattan College. So, ladies and gentlemen, Transition Army, please help me welcome Whitney Swab to Transition Tuesdays. Whitney, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic, Russ. How are you?
I'm doing good. You're sounding crisp and clear coming through my phone. I wish I could see your face, but we'll take the audio portion of the program, too.
All right, perfect. Well, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me on this Tuesday.
No problem. Now, Whitney, I like to make my guests feel at home, so I'm gonna play a couple of songs for you, and I'm gonna play this first song. I hope you can hear it, and tell me if you can't hear it. I'm gonna play it for you soon, but I just want to set it up for you. So this first song is the old hip hop song. Are you into rap and hip hop at all?
You know, it's not my forte.
Okay.
But I'm here for it. Let me hear what you got.
Okay, all right, okay. So this song here, I could just visualize a young Whitney listening to this song, maybe at a sporting event or maybe in her college dorm. Okay, so I'm gonna play this for me and tell me and see if you recognize this song. Okay, hang on one sec. Okay, so you're aware of this song?
Yep, I like this one.
Okay, all right, okay. What do you remember about this song? You probably weren't even in college at that time, right? I don't know. I don't think so.
It might be a little bit more seasoned. I don't like to use the word older. A little more seasoned than my time, but that's definitely a good one that you put on the pregame playlist.
Okay.
Pumped up and ready to go and get the whole entire team hyped up. That's a good one.
There you go. Yes, House of Pain, Jump Around. They're from the Massachusetts area. Are you from Massachusetts there, Whitney?
I'm a born and bred New Yorker. I'm from upstate New York outside of the Capital District. Oh,
okay. There we go. All right. Perfect. Okay, cool. So Jump Around. Okay, next. I'm going to play this next tune. Who we got joining us too? I think we got... who just joined us? Donna Siebel just joined. What's going on, Donna? Welcome to Transition Tuesday. There's a Hall of Famer here joining us. You bringing
awesome Manhattan alum, Donna.
Yes, you are bringing all the people out here, Whitney. We also have Sean Egan join. What's going on, Sean? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays as well. I think Sean might be a newbie to the program. Cool. Great to have you aboard there, Sean. So, Whitney, I'm going to play this next song for you, okay? Now, again, when I hear this song, I visualize this young lady, Miss Whitney. I can just visualize you like listening to this song, possibly dancing to this song as well. And it might have some intermeaning with this song too that I play. Okay, so let me just play this one for you. Let me just cue it up. My DJing skills, which I don't have great DJing skills, but I'll attempt to here. All right, 1 second. Let me play this. Tell me what you think here, Whitney. All right. Can you hear this?
Exactly. This is my girl Whitney. I want to dance with somebody.
All right.
It's a song that at every wedding or party will get me out of my seat and on the dance floor immediately.
Now, Whitney, were you named after Whitney Houston? Is there a story behind your name at all?
There kind of is, but not really. My parents really loved the name Whitney.
Okay.
But there is a family tradition, and my mom decided she wanted to break it. Every single woman in my family, her first name ends in an A, except for me. So
Really?
My mom, Erica, my Aunt Carla, my Aunt Lisa, my cousin Samantha, my grandmother Gloria, my great Aunt Sylvia.
Wow.
Goes back and back and back, but I'm the only one in our family with a Y at the end of their name and not an A.
Wow. There we go. Okay, cool. All right. So, yeah, when I hear these songs, I think of Miss Whitney. I think of yourself. Okay, cool.
I love it.
We got Bill Champion joining. What's going on, Bill? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays, my friend. Okay. Hey, so off the bat here, Whitney, I'll be remiss if I didn't ask you, how are you and your family coping with these 3 pandemics that we're currently going through? You know, you have COVID, you have the economy, and you also have social injustice in our country. So how are you and your family coping with these 3 pandemics right now?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that this all started a year ago.
Yes.
Our basketball teams are heading to the basketball championships. Our men's team plays there tonight. And unfortunately, a year ago, this is when everything kind of shut down. To be honest, looking back, I thought that it was going to be 2 weeks and we'd be back. We sent our students home and I didn't have enough clothes at the time. I had to do an Amazon order of clothes to sustain me through the rest of the pandemic because I went home for personal reasons. But it was kind of interesting. But, I think that during this time, it's given us a real chance to pause and reflect. And one of the words that really sticks with me is gratitude. And really kind of figuring out what you're grateful in this life while you're pausing. I'm really grateful that I have a job that I love. I've been able to keep that job. I've been able to spend some extra time with my family, and that was really precious to me. And it's some of those memories that I'll cherish forever.
Definitely. And it's been a year, like you mentioned, Whitney. The last time I saw you in person was during the MAC championships in Atlantic City. That was a year ago.
You were there with me.
Yes.
We were supposed to have you come and speak to our student athletes in a month, and unfortunately, everything just kind of took a turn. And I don't think any of us would have thought that we'd still be in this a year later. But I'm hopeful that the light is at the end of the tunnel here.
Yes, me too. Yeah. So how you been handling, in terms of the social injustice portion of it? Because I know, Manhattan College, they have great initiatives, especially with the women's team, with Black Lives Matter and everything. But how has that impacted your life?
It's been awesome. I'm really proud of our women's basketball team and all of our student athletes and what they have been kind of standing up for and what they have been saying. And I think one of the greatest things that I have seen is the power of the student-athlete voice come through this time.
Right.
Just college administrator myself, the very first student-athlete legislation passed this summer. That's where they're going to take that day off every year for people to get out there and vote and to get out there and make sure that their voice is heard. And I think that's really all of this, is that people are speaking and we're listening. And I think that that's fantastic to do. And our student athletes are speaking and we're listening as well. And sometimes that's just what you need to do, is to pause and listen and be an open person that people feel that they can communicate with.
Absolutely. We got Jeanette joining us from the D. What up, cuz? What's going on? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. Yeah. So, Whitney, speaking about the pandemic and everything, how has it been like working on the college campus, like Manhattan College, during these 2 pandemics? Again, we talk about the social injustice and you have the COVID, more importantly, the COVID at this time. But how has your experience been working on campus?
Yeah, it's definitely different from what I've experienced. I've been in college athletics over 10 years. Part of what really rallies the teams are the fans and the families in the stands, and not having them. That's been it's probably been more challenging for the student athletes, but it's been weird for us as administrators. The last time I kind of equated it at one point was, I don't know if you know this story, Russ, but when LaSalle played a long time ago, there was a measles outbreak on campus.
Wow.
And this was a basketball tournament as well. And I think that might be the first game that was ever played without fans.
Really? Wow.
You go back about 20 years, and here it's happening again. So it's not really what we are used to, but I can say without a doubt that Manhattan College has done an incredible job of ensuring the safety and welfare of the student athletes and always keeping that the number one priority across the board.
Perfect. How is it with, like, your fellow, administrators? You got professors on campus. If they are on campus, I would imagine they are. But how has it been for them as well? I would imagine it's tough for them too. Like, I mean, not being able to be in front of a full class or what have you, or doing stuff remotely. Like, how has that been with your cohorts?
Yeah, I think that they have been some of the most adaptable people probably in the country. Think about, hands-on, in-person learning, and then shifting that and trying to learn new technology, make sure that your equipment's up to speed, make sure that you're still giving them a first-class educational experience, even though it's through a computer screen, and really helping these student athletes to excel so that when they graduate, they're ready for the real world. So they've definitely risen to the challenge, but I have to give props to these students as well and our student athletes. They are resilient. And hopefully when they get through this, they look back and they say, wow, that was challenging, that was new, but it made me a better person, and I'm going to be more adaptable, and I'm going to take those times and kind of remember what was taken from me and value them after the pandemic, and really, put their full effort in everything that they do.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I mentioned before to you, I think we really have to check on these student athletes after their sports are done, to check on their mental wellness. And I think, you as a staff there as well, Manhattan College, and throughout the country, I think we really have to check on the mental wellness, when this is all said and done, I think, because, I think,
I think you're so spot on.
Yeah.
One of the things that we talk about here at Manhattan College, too, is the mental health of our student athletes, because they're experiencing a loss.
Yeah.
And sometimes we've seen that in the past with student athletes who might have been injured, right? And who they have, whether it's a career-ending injury or it's an injury that takes them out for a couple of games, how they kind of get through that and what they do is really a battlefield of the mind.
Yeah.
And so I do think that we have to really kind of look at that, because, our spring sports last year, they suffered a loss. Our women's basketball team, they were about to step on the court and they suffered a loss, and they were primed to do real well. And so now we just really need to keep a pulse on that. I think you're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
So if you know a student athlete, give them a call and tell them you appreciate them, that they're doing everything the right way, and that they're going to come out stronger at the end.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, reach out to a student athlete. Yeah, because they're going through it. But like you mentioned there, Whitney, it will make them better people for it. I mean, it's experience for them. I definitely think so. So, Whitney, I want my audience to get a chance to get to know the Whitney that I know, okay? A little bit about yourself. So, Whitney, do you come from a small, big family, and was sports part of the, lexicon for you guys growing up?
Yeah, so I come from a really small family.
Okay.
I have one brother, mom and dad, and a pretty nuclear unit.
Okay.
Sports was always a part of my DNA growing up.
Okay.
Dad, he wanted me out there, and he also, I can still remember this, when I first started playing basketball at a young age, there was only two little girls team at that time, and he was like, that's not enough competition for you, Whitney. I'm gonna have you play with the boys. So at an early age, I was playing basketball with the boys, and then once I got older, I kept playing basketball, and I also played softball, tennis, and I dabble in golf, and dabble is probably the best word for it, because I like to play. Does not mean I play well.
Are you shooting in the hundreds, Whitney, or over 100?
Listen, we don't need to throw numbers out there, right?
Only reason why I'm doing that because I shoot well over the 100, so I'll be the first to say that.
Perfect. Will be a fun sum.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so you have some sports in your background, and when you're pretty tall, so did you play basketball at all or no?
Yeah, I did. I played. I did not play in college. I always knew I wanted a career in sports. I ended up going to UMass Amherst. I'm a proud alumna, and I just didn't think that the Division I level was right for me. But I wanted sports to be the focus of my career, and they had an incredible sport management program. It still is built into their business program. So I knew I'd have a great balance of having a business degree as well as a concentration in sports. So that was the perfect fit for me. And looking back, I made the right decision.
Definitely. Was it that one particular person or one thing in your life that made like a life-changing event, like that led you to a career in sports marketing and in business?
Yeah, I remember I wanted to be a teacher. Like that was it. I was like, I'm going to be a teacher. I'm going to do that. I couldn't really figure out what I wanted to teach. But I took a class in high school, and it was a sport management class, and I was like, this is real. Like I can have a job working in sports. Like I can do this for the rest of my life.
Wow.
Like, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And so I went home, and I remember this. I told my mom, and I said, listen, this is for me. If I can do this, I want to work in sports for the rest of my life.
Wow.
And she was like, well, if you want that, then we're gonna look, and we're gonna find the best sport management programs. We're gonna explore them. And at the time, UMass was Ohio University, and that was first starting to come up. Now I think that there are a lot of great sport management programs out there.
Okay.
So in the early 2000s, it wasn't really something that people knew about. So I went to UMass. I got in, and the program there just is really great. But I will always say that my mom is my biggest champion. I was surrounded by really strong women growing up. She's a strong woman, and I appreciate her because, some people could have looked at it and said, you know what, there's no future in sports. This isn't a relevant thing. Why don't you go and be, a teacher? Why don't you do that? And she said, no, let's find the best program, and let's get you in there. And, she was a champion for me. I appreciate her every day for that.
Oh, that is great. That's great. We got Jason joining. What's going on, Jason? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. We also got Tom joining us as well. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Transition Tuesdays. Appreciate having you guys. So your mom was that pivotal person. And shout out to moms. Always good to shout out moms. And she's probably watching on your moms, right?
Might be. She might be. She doesn't have Facebook, though, so she might be watching from someone else. Okay,
there you go. Yes, moms are very resilient. They'll get on there. They'll make it happen. If they gotta see their baby, their baby being seen and heard on the show, they make their rounds. I don't know how they do it there, Whitney, but they do it. They get it done.
Yeah, moms are a special breed, and I appreciate all of them. Mother's Day is coming up.
Yes, that's right. Yes, man, that's true. Now, Whitney, was it difficult breaking into your industry? As a woman?
I'm really fortunate because I never really saw myself as like the female in the industry. I just saw myself as Whitney in the industry. And so for me, I always just brought myself to every meeting, every interview. And I think that made me stand out a little bit. But I will say in sports, there are times when I'm the only female in the room. There are times when, you feel like sometimes you're the minority, but I think as long as you are just confident in yourself, then you'll make your own way in whatever industry you're in. I'll say Rick Enzer, he was a huge champion for me to start my career. He gave this young girl a shot at the MAC, and I was really fortunate, but he made me work, and he said, you got to work hard, and you got to make your way, and you got to pay your dues, and you've got to show people what you can do to be successful in this industry. And so he had this foundation for me of excellence and hard work. And I carry that with me to this day, and it's really true. They say, if anyone can do it, then you wouldn't have your job.
This is true, right?
Yep.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So, Whitney, can you explain to our audience, like, what do you do exactly at Manhattan College?
Yeah, so I oversee our external operations, which is our marketing, our alumni relations, our communications, anything that goes out to the public audience. I have a hand in and work with a number of really talented individuals here at Manhattan College to really promote our brand and promote our 19 athletic program.
Okay, nice. And Whitney, what advice would you give, women breaking into your industry? Because it is sometimes tough to get a leg into the industry. But what advice would you give that the little Whitneys, let's say, the younger Whitneys of the world's coming up and they want to get involved, they want to, they're excited about the sports industry or what have you. But what advice would you give them?
Yeah, mine would be, don't be afraid. Take a chance. Sometimes, you gotta take a leap of faith and put it out there, but also really look at the network. I tell people a lot when they come to me and ask for advice, find someone who has the job that you want and reach out to them. And more often than not, they want to talk to you, and they're happy to share their story with you and tell you what you need to do and what you need to be to get to that point and build your network. Women want to support other women, alumni want to support other alumni, and I think just in general, people want to help.
Have you found people reaching out to you about, asking about what you do at Manhattan and everything like that?
Yeah, I've had a couple of people reach out to me. I have a couple of mentees. One of my mentees, Madison Arndt, she worked for me here at Manhattan College. She's now an administrator at Yale. And
wow.
I take a lot of pride in seeing where people kind of make it in their career, because I'm like a proud mom.
Yeah.
When people excel, I think that that's awesome. And there were a lot of champions for me. I keep using that word, but I want to be a champion for all of these other people as well who have asked for my guidance and my advice. And I think that there are a lot of people like me out there, and I really love that. That's probably the best part about my career and why I love college athletics is that I get to see these young men and women for 4 or 5 years progress in whatever they are dedicated to, whether it's their sport, their area of study, and upon graduation, they get to make their mark. And then I love being able to reconnect with them and see how far they've come after graduation. And that really inspires me, keeps me motivated, and I love being a part of that.
Okay, cool. So, Whitney, I got 2 more questions for you. Now, what motivates Whitney? Okay, could it be somebody gives you the motivation that you do to do your job? Is it money? Is it material things? Like, what motivates Whitney?
It's definitely not money, and it's definitely not material things.
Okay.
For me, it's really like a sense of accomplishment in what I do. I have a lot of pride in the job that I do and being respected. But like I just said, what really motivates me in college athletics every day are these student athletes. I think that especially right now, I look at our men's and women's basketball teams, if you could see me, I've got the game day sign behind me. I was all ready to plug them.
Oh, man, I don't know what happened here.
I know, it's all good. But, I think that, they sacrificed a lot to get where they are now. And I'm really proud of them. You feel like you're part of a team when you're in college athletics. Yeah. And they motivate me. They make me a better administrator. I always want to make sure that they have the best student-athlete experience. And, I think that's why we all love college athletics and we stay in it for so long.
Absolutely, especially during this time in terms of basketball. You got March Madness coming up right around the corner next week. I think we start next week for March Madness. So yeah, it's all about that inclusion. Absolutely. So Whitney, I'm gonna get you out of here on this last question. All right. Now I want you to think about this one because this is a good question here that I take credit here. This is a good question. Hopefully you can answer it. All right. So, who is the one person, either dead or alive, you would like to have dinner with? And if you had that person, what would you talk about?
Oh my gosh, this one's an easy one for me.
Okay.
So it's my great-great-grandmother, Elsa.
Okay.
And my great-great-grandmother, Elsa, she came over as an immigrant from, I'm Latvian. That's why I'm so tall, Russ.
Okay.
She came over from Latvia with nothing but a wicker basket. And we still have this wicker basket in our house. And that's all she had. And she came over and she worked her butt off over here. And I would love to talk to her and I would love to show her what her wicker basket built.
Wow.
And I think about this all the time. We've got homes, we've got cars, we've got all these things, and it was built off of a wicker basket and a woman taking a chance crossing over the Atlantic Ocean.
Wow, that is an amazing story, man. That was an easy one for you. That's a cool thing, Whitney, man.
Yep.
Man,
Yep.
we got Coach Rhonda Riley joining. What's going on, Coach? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. And Coach, I got to get you on this show here because I've been hearing a lot about you. I know we're Facebook friends. I got to get you on it. My people contact your people there. Okay, Coach? Hey, so Whitney, what I normally do at this time, we usually transition to current events. And I was wondering, would you like to stick around and maybe get your take on these current events that we're going to talk about today? You got time?
Sure, sounds good.
All right. Okay, cool. So let's do this, ladies and gentlemen, Transition Army. Let's make the transition to, I'm not sure if you guys saw this this past Sunday, but you had the Meghan and Prince Harry interview with Oprah Winfrey. So want to talk a little bit about that. So Whitney, did you get a chance to see that interview at all?
I didn't, but my brother filled me in on all the highlights.
Okay, good. All right. So one of the highlights was Oprah asked Meghan about, she was cornered with somebody in the royal family, and they were talking about the color. What would the color of the baby be? So that seemed to be a major bombshell, a major bombshell. But I just want to ask the people out there, and I asked you too, Whitney, a lot of people were shocked to hear about that comment, while some other classes and groups were not shocked to hear about that comment. But what's your take on it, Whitney? Were you shocked when you heard that comment, or did your brother fill you in on that particular tidbit?
He sure did, and I think Oprah Winfrey's response back was exactly what I thought.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What?
You're right. Yep.
I'm actually at a loss for words because I'm not sure what prompted them to say that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and and it's kind of good, I think, because Oprah was kind of pressing. She was doing a interviewing duty. She was like, who told who'd you talk to about that? And they weren't going to give up that person. And I think it was best that they didn't give up that person personally, because that person would probably be looking crazy in the eyes of the American public or the public in general, about that particular deal. Yeah, man. That was really crazy. That was crazy to see. And I saw over 18 million people here in the United States saw that particular interview.
Yeah, for some reason I wasn't one of them, but don't worry, I'll watch it at some point.
I hear you, Whitney. Yeah, so we got to stay tuned to that one. But the thing I take away from that, Meghan and Prince Harry deal is, it clearly shows you that love conquers all. I mean, here's a couple that basically risked it all and just said, forget, we're not going to deal with that nonsense. If we got to come to the United States and be with one another and go through it together, it shows you that love conquers all. What do you think about that, Whitney?
I totally agree. And I think sometimes you know when you're in a bad situation, and God tells you, this just probably isn't right. And if it takes moving across the country, and in this case, to a whole nother continent, to kind of make sure that you are taken care of in your mental health, and that you're surrounding yourself with the right people, then you have to do what's best for you and your family, no matter what those consequences are. I think a lot of times we worry about those consequences, and that's probably not the best way. So I applaud them. I applaud them. They recognized that they were in not the right situation for them, and what was going to be best for them in the long run. And
absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. We got Brian joining. What's going on, Brian? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. We had Brian's father on, Mr. Burns. We had him on 2 episodes ago. No, welcome, Brian. Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. Yeah. So, yeah, that's the theme that I get. You know, love conquers all. That's what I got from that particular story. So let's transition to another one. Now, Whitney, did you get a chance to see the movie Coming to America just yet? Did you get a chance to see that movie yet?
I did.
You did? Okay, good. Okay. All right. So first off, now, did you see the original? Or you probably...
I did, and I rewatched it knowing that Coming to America was coming out.
Okay. Gotcha. Now, I'll give my take first on it. So Coming to America, I did see the movie as well. Coming to number 2 America, so that's the sequel to it. I thought it was good. And you know, the toughest thing about it all, and it's getting like a lot of flack from like people like social media. They're saying it's terrible. Some people saying it's trash. I wouldn't go that far now, but you know, some people are saying that. But you know, it's hard to top the original. You know, it's really hard. That's an iconic movie. You know, and it's hard to top that. But I think they did a good job kind of piecing stuff together and you know, giving different storylines to it. And, you know, I enjoyed it. Matter of fact, I'm going to watch it again a second time. I think I get a better perspective by watching it a second time. But a lot of people really trashed it. They were saying it was trash. I wouldn't go that far. But what was your take on it, Whitney?
Well, first of all, I think Eddie Murphy is a genius.
Yes.
And for that man to embody that many characters and so well, that's why you love those movies, right?
Yes.
I think he's phenomenal. I liked it. You know, I like the cheesy, corny movies, so I'm always there for those. But yeah, I think Eddie Murphy, he's one of a kind.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. His run, Eddie Murphy, his run with all these movies. I mean, him being the donkey in Shrek. You know, a lot of people don't remember that. You know, he has that going on. I mean, he started with 48 Hours, and I heard they're going to be doing another Beverly Hills Cop.
Yes, I did hear that on the Today Show a couple mornings ago.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm always a Eddie Murphy fan, and again, if it's going to be a Coming to America 3. I'm there. I'm watching it too because I'm a Eddie Murphy fan. I like what he did. I heard he employed over 600 African American people on the set. You know, all type of things like that. So here's a guy who always reaches back, you know, to communities in which he's from. You know, employs people and everything. So you know, I think he did a good job. But again, I'm gonna watch it again. I'm gonna get a better perspective of the movie, and I will not call it trash like some people are doing. I wouldn't go that far. I don't think the movie was trash at all.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'm here for number 3 as well. I'll watch it right with you, Russ.
Okay, cool. Now, I saw 2 other movies this weekend too. I saw Judas and the Black Messiah. I'm not sure. Did you ever get a chance to see that movie at all, Whitney? You ever hear about this movie?
I have not. I don't even know this one, so you're going to have to fill me in.
Okay, so this is about a gentleman by the name of Fred Hampton. Fred Hampton, he led the Black Panther Party movement in Chicago. So he was a guy who he was trying to get the gangs together, and you know what the program was about the Black Panthers Party was they were empowering black people, but empowering people. I'm going to say people, not just black people, but he was empowering people in Chicago area. He gave out free breakfast to the kids. He was just doing things like that. So, and he was trying to, you know, make headways between like KKK members in Chicago, you know, Hispanic gangs and everything coming together, you know, to unite in unison. So what happened was J. Edgar Hoover, who was the head of the FBI, he saw that Fred Hampton was a major threat. So turns out that he had him assassinated. So Fred Hammond, and actually, and the thing I learned, I didn't know about it. Fred Hampton, who led this brigade and everything, he was only 21 years old when he died, when he got killed. So it talks about that story. I recommend people see this movie. Whitney, I recommend you see this movie. I recommend this movie is a great movie for people who are not of color. I think you would definitely love this movie, get a lot of insight, especially from the Black Party Panther movement and Fred Hampton.
Yeah. What's the name of it again, Russ?
It's called Judas and the Black Messiah.
Is it a documentary or is it non?
No, it's a movie. It's a full-length movie. You can find, I think, on HBO Max. I believe they're showing it there.
Okay.
Yep. So that's one movie I recommend. Another movie I saw, which was great, and it's been out for a while, I believe, on Hulu. It's called One Night in Miami. Did you hear about this movie at all, Whitney?
I did it. Not you, because I think it's also on Prime.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. So that.
I've not watched it yet. So you give me your honest review, and I'm gonna probably keep it in my queue, even if you say you didn't like it.
Okay, great. So I'll go over that information. So we got J. Edna Nolan joining us. Going on, J. Edna? Welcome. We also got Keisha from the D. What up, though? Joining us as well. All right. So One Night in Miami. It takes place in 1963, and it's the true, based on true events. So what happened was, it was one night in Miami in 63 in which you had Malcolm X, you had Muhammad Ali, which was at the time he was Cassius Clay, you had the singer Sam Cooke, and you had the legendary football player Jim Brown. They met in one night and they talked about plans, and it really shaped up what happened to these men. And it really shaped what we are and what we are as people, in my opinion, as black people, when everybody got together for one night. There's only one night that these four legends met to talk about what they were going to do going further in their lives. It's a great movie. Absolutely great movie. You'll love it, Whitney.
And this is based on true events.
Yes, work based on true events. Yes, It was actually the time they were all in Miami because Cassius Clay at the time, Muhammad Ali, he was fighting for the championship, and he won the championship that night in 63. So they were there just to celebrate and everything, but then they were going to get together kind of like an after party. And it was, when you're watching the movie, you find that the after party was actually them getting together. So there was no after party, for Muhammad Ali winning his first title. And Muhammad Ali, he was like 21, 22 at that time. So, he met. But again, the conversation shaped these four gentlemen's lives. And again, it's a great movie directed by Regina King, who is a great actress, but that was her directorial debut. She did a great job. I think she's up for awards for the I forget, maybe Oscars, I think, coming up, but the Golden Globes, I think she was nominated. So I recommend this movie for you, Whitney. Make sure you see this movie, and everybody out there, make sure you see these movies, because these are great movies, and they're based on true events as well.
Now, Russ, I've got a question for you.
Yep, sure.
Becomes the interviewer.
Mm-hmm.
That one night, is that one night you would want to be a part of?
Oh, man, would I? I would kill to do that. Yeah, because how the movie takes you through like a whirlwind about, again, this one night was so pivotal on the events. It was shaped what these men did going further in their lives, because we got to think about it. Like at that time, Jim Brown was the biggest NFL star at that time. That night, you had Malcolm X, who was one of the biggest, guys in terms of the Nation of Islam and the issues and troubles he was having and his plans, what he was going to do going forward. Then you had Sam Cooke, the legendary Sam Cooke, who doesn't get a lot of credit because Sam Cooke was instrumental in the civil rights movement. A lot of people don't know that about Sam Cooke. They just thought he was just a good crooner. That's all they thought. But no, he was really deep entrenched in it and changing the game. So yeah, oh man, if I could be there that night, oh my God. Woo, if I could have been a fly on the wall there, Whitney. Yes.
Love love it.
Yes, it was really good. And Keisha says she heard it was good, but she hasn't watched it yet. Yes, cuz I recommend you watch this movie. I recommend everybody watch this movie. So it was well done, and it's true. It was based on true stories. What happened at the end of it? So it was really deep. It was good. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, after your review, I'm bumping it up a couple of notches in the queue.
There you go. There you go. All right. So let's do this. My final transitional topic we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about LeBron James. And I just saw on like certain recent outlets, he was saying how they asked him, are you going to take the vaccine? And he said, he's not gonna tell you if he's gonna do it or if he's not gonna do it. He's gonna keep that private and to the vest, to himself. So, but I think a lot of people are kind of hammering on it. At least they're trying to take some attempts in social media, saying that he's a hypocrite because he's always out there with with certain stances on certain things, but here now, I guess maybe this hits too close to home and he's not commenting on that. But I want to get your take on it. Whitney, do you think he might be a hypocrite in this particular situation?
You struggle with this because he's someone who's in the media's eye.
Yeah.
But you want to respect their privacy. They're still a person who can kind of weigh the pros and cons, and maybe he just hasn't made a decision yet. Mm-hmm. Maybe he wants a little bit more information, and I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm saying the only way we're going to get over this is if we vaccine. That's my personal take.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean everyone's comfortable. And maybe it just means people need some more time to really come to grips with it. We've been in a pandemic for 1 year, and I think that there are a lot of studies out there that people are nervous to even go back to work, even with a vaccine. So I can appreciate him wanting to kind of keep some privacy on it, but it's one of those ones that's a catch-22, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Definitely. And we got Jeanette. Jeanette says, no, he isn't. No, he's not a hypocrite. Yeah. I agree with you, Whitney. What was that? I'm sorry?
Is she a Cavs fan?
Who, Jeanette?
Yeah.
Is she a Cavs fan, you said?
Right, isn't that who LeBron plays for?
Yes, but she's from Detroit, so she's definitely a Pistons fan. I know that.
Oh, sorry if I offended you, Jim.
No. And Keisha's also from the D. My cousin says, well, he never said yes or no. Yep, so he kind of left it out there. So here's my take on it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to put on my conspiracy theory hat, okay? And I'm going to tell you this. I think LeBron James has always been vaccinated already. And I'm going to tell you why I think this, okay? So now you look at the All-Star game this past Saturday. You had Joel Embiid and you had Ben Simmons. They got a haircut from their barber. Their barber contracted the virus. So when they fly to Atlanta to get ready to play in the All-Star game, both guys are pulled out of that game. The contract tracing occurs. So what they did was they sent those two players in two separate jets back to Philadelphia. Now, could you imagine, ladies and gentlemen out there, if these two players were affected and then they pass it on to the greatest players in the league right now, 24 other players? So here's the hook on this. And here's why I think LeBron James and everybody was vaccinated. Because I can see Adam Silver, and you can chime in on this, Whitney, if your thoughts on this. I can see Adam Silver saying to the players in that arena that day, the 24 players, hey guys, after this game in Atlanta, you all going to get vaccine because we don't want any problems, any issues, even though we kind of jumping in front of the line, but that's okay. We almost had this scare with the other players coming in through the contract tracing. But before you leave here tonight, you and your family members will be vaccinated. What are your thoughts on that, Whitney?
That's definitely a theory.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a theory, right? Could be a conspiracy theory. I got my conspiracy hat on. I'll just take it off right now, but...
No, listen. You might have thrown me for a loop. I'm a little.
You don't have to say anything. You don't have to incriminate yourself. No, that's okay. I know. Communication is your forte. Don't worry about it. You don't have to touch that. This is all coming from my point of view.
If it comes out that it's true, though, I'll say I heard it here first.
Yeah, you go. Absolutely. You heard it here first on Transition Tuesday. Well, Whitney, hey, I know you got to run because I know we got to cheer on our Jaspers that are playing today against Fairfield, the men tonight. So, Whitney, I want to thank you for coming on, providing your insight and some motivation and everything like that. And again, Whitney, I got to have you on, and we got to have you on camera next time. I got to get this thing fixed, me. I need some help. I need some marketing skills, some communication skills. So, Whitney, I'm going to have to reach out back to you again to have you back on.
I love it. I definitely am happy to be a guest. Thanks for having me tonight. These are fantastic, and hopefully some people learn some stuff tonight.
Absolutely. I'm sure they have. I'm sure they definitely have. They seen that Whitney likes the song Jump Around, and we found that she's not named after Whitney Houston. We found that out, too.
Love it.
All right. Thanks again, Whitney. I'll be in touch.
All right, Russ.
Okay, take care.
Bye now.
Bye-bye. All right, that was Whitney Swab joining us here. Oh, man, good stuff. Good insight. Good insight. And again, the views expressed are from Russ Williams, all right, and no one else. I don't want to get anybody in trouble or jammed up, all right? That's just my opinion, all right? So, ladies and gentlemen, if we were able to make you laugh, smile, and think during this broadcast, my good friends, you have accomplished something major today. So celebrate your victory. Celebrate your victory. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for watching Transition Tuesdays here from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. If you want to catch the broadcast, you can on my YouTube channel, Transition Tuesdays. We also have Latoya joining us. What's going on, Latoya? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. I think Latoya's a newbie. Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. So, like I mentioned, you can catch the show Transition Tuesdays on my YouTube channel, Transition Tuesdays. And also, if you're not following me, follow me on IG at rwilltransitions. Love for you to do that. And again, I want to shout out my special guest, Miss Whitney Swab, for joining us today, giving us some enlightful conversation on this, that, and the third. I appreciate that. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we leave, I'll be remiss on this day, March 9th, 1997. The notorious B.I.G. was murdered. And to this day, no one has been convicted of that particular murder. To this day, man. And I'm going to quote the great rapper Cannabis. Cannabis says, the greatest MC died on March 9th, and that happened to be Notorious B.I.G. So, on our way out, I'm going to play Notorious B.I.G. We're going to rep him. We're going to rep his life tonight. And I'm going to play him on the way. I'm going to play one of his biggest tunes as we rep. Keisha says, wow, so sad. Absolutely. It's so sad. You're absolutely right, Keisha. Yeah. Oh, man. Biggie. Man, remember the life. Remember the life. So as we say in parting Transition Army, happy transitioning, and we'll speak to you soon. Take care, everybody. God bless. Big E, big baby.